Hi. Recently, I made a video on PowerAutomate multi-level approvals, where you can configure the level of amount and approvers. This community thread is almost similar to that, but there are some minor changes based on my earlier multi-level approvers video. If you look this requirement, there are some range of amount which approves in different levels here. So if the amount is suppose 1 million, then the first 10K approved by one approver, then the next level approved by multi-level multi-approvers, and so on. Okay, here is an example. If my amount over 55K, then my manager would have approved first. That means, I believe when the amount comes in, users can choose who's the manager is and they can approve the first 10K. Then the second level manager would have to approve, and the third level would have to approve, and so forth. So that means the second level, first 10K is the manager, then the second level and the third level, and so forth. Okay. So what I did is, this is my SharePoint approval config list, and I did set approval level 2, 3, 4, because the first level, when the amount comes to the list, user going to choose the manager and the manager is going to approve it. Then if the amount is more than 10K, then it should go through these ranges then. So suppose the range is, suppose the amount is 25,000, then the first 10K approved by the manager, then this level, this is level 2, because the amount is 10,001 to 20,000. Then once that is approved, then it has to go to the next one. So that means 25,000 means we will get the first level approved by manager, then 2 and 3. Yeah. Okay, so that's my approval config. So for more readability, what I did is I put the from amount and the to amount. Okay, so I will utilize the from amount later on in my video. And you can see here in my third level, I have got 2 emails, 2 people need to approve it. So the plan is, if everybody approves it, then we are going to approve the amount, set the amount to approved. If somebody rejects it, immediately we will abort the, the levels of approvals. That means, the amount is not approved. Okay, so let's start building the flow then. So before that, I'll show you the sales approval. This is where the user is going to enter the, the amount. So you can see here, I set the approval status as a choice column, and I got pending manager's approval. That means once the manager is approved, let me go back again. So yeah, that's approval status. Then you can see here, like the default is new. Then before the approval starts, I'm going to set it to pending manager approval. Once the manager is approved, then it will go to manager approved or manager rejected. Right. So this is my flow, and I set when an item is created in my sales approvals. You can see here. That's my trigger. The next action step I'm going to use here is the manager's email. So if I search for email, approver email value here, because it's a choice, single choice column, you can see approver email and approver email's value. We need to get the approver email value actually here. Yeah. So let me test this. I'm going to click on manually and save and test. Okay, so I'm going to enter product 100 amount. I'm going to put 15,000 now. You can see here there are a couple of people's name here. I'm going to select, this is my manager, so I'm going to select this person's email and save the record. So what's going to happen now is the flow is waiting to run, and flow ran successfully. You can see the email being selected. Okay, so the first thing we need to do here is we need to change the status to, if I go and edit the record, we need to change the status to pending manager approval. So for that, the first step is update item. Okay, that's the ID from the trigger we need. Then the title, because it's mandatory, we need to again select the same title from the when an item is created. That's that. And then the value what we want to change here is pending manager approval. Okay, the next step we want to do here is we need to send an approval. So look for the approval and start and wait for the approval. Approval type is first to respond, because there's only one person we are expecting here, the manager. Then the title, again, I could choose the title of that when an item is created, but I'm going to do here is like please approve amount 10K. Remember, the first 10K amount is going to approve by their own manager. Okay, and or you could select, okay, that's fine, yeah, 10K, and then assign to. So that's the email value. I could either use the output of the compose here, or what I could do is I could use the manager's email approver email value, which is the value I mapped here. So I'm going to delete this tab, which we don't want it. Right, so I got this now. Then in the details, I could say like, again, I could say, hi, please approve the amount 10K, total amount is then search for the total amount which the user is entered, that is this when an item is created. Let me go back here, show you that's 15,000. That's the total amount. So that means the first 10K is going to approve by this person which the user selected, that's the manager. Then it has to go to 10,001 range, that is in say approval config, and because it's fall into this range, then this person has to approve the second level. Okay, let me save this flow and I'm going to run the flow again. I'm not going to create another record. I'm going to use the platform feature called test. Click on test automatically with raise and trigger and select the last run here, yeah, and test again. So this means I don't need to recreate the record again in that list. So what's happening now here is it's updated the item and I'm expecting an email to arrive in my inbox for the approval. So if I take you back to the sales approvals, it is new now, and if I refresh that, see, that's pending manager approval, and this is the person who is going to receive that email now. Let me go and check that email now. Okay, here it is. So it says here, see that, please approve amount 10K. Then also here say, hi, please approve amount 10K, total amount is 15K. Yeah, I could reject or approve here. Okay, so if I reject it, I need to set the status to reject. If I approve it, I need to set the status to approved. Okay, let me close this. And what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to go back to the flow now. So you can see my flow is still running. I'm going to cancel this now. Yeah, let me cancel this run now so that I can, recreate that trigger again. So just cancel that. Right, edit. So to capture the outcome of that approval, what I need is I need a condition here and look for the outcome is equal to approve. So if the outcome is approved, means what I need to do here is I need to go to the second level of approval. So we'll come back to for that logic we need to build that. So let's concentrate on the rejection part. So if it's no, means it's been rejected. So add an action again and use the update item. So again, I'm going to use another platform feature here for the update item. Copy to my clipboard, go to the add action, click on my clipboard, use that update item. and then all I need is expand that, then change this to manager rejected. That's it. And you can rename this to, you know, some meaningful names like update item status to rejected. Okay, and this one, update item status to waiting for approval. Yeah, so that's that. Now click again test, automatically resend trigger. I'm going to run it again now. Oh, correct the invalid, oh, valid reference. Okay, so what happened here is there is something not quite right here, because I'm using the because I changed the rename this update item, you know, to update item status to waiting for approval. See that the output of that is still under the old name. So if you rename this, what you need is you need to go back and set it again. That's all you need to do here. So select the approval email here. Sorry, email approval email value, which is from the trigger. Yeah, this is one we want here. Right, let me save this, and now I can run using the last trigger. Let's see that's going to work. Here it is. I got my email now, and I'm going to reject it. So you can put some comments and get the output of the comment also as part of that action step in the update item if you want. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to reject that and submit. Okay, it says it's rejected. So let me close this. You can see flow ran successfully, so it should be under the false and the item is rejected. Yeah. So let me go back here and refresh that record. It says manager rejected. That's good. Okay, the next step what we want is we need to, if it's true, means we need to build the second and third level and such and such you know, that flow and that logic we need to build. So edit again. So here what we want to do here is, now we need to find the order of the approvals from the config. So ideally it need to go to, because our amount is 15,000, the first 10k, if the first 10k is approved, the rest of the 5,000 it has to approve by the level 2 person. Yeah. So for that, what I am going to do here is I'm going to utilize the from amount. Okay. So again, SharePoint connector we want, and get items. List name. Now we need to look for the approval config, because that's the email we want. And here I'm going to use the filter query here. So I'm going to use from amount. See that in my column name I got from space amount. So this is a technique you need to do here. Click on the settings, list settings. This is only for if you got spaces generally. Yeah? From amount, just click on that. Look in the browser at the end, it says the actual field equals. See that field equals. That's the name we need to use in our query actually. Yeah. So remember, this is quite crucial always. So from underscore x0020 underscore amount, that's the one we want here. So let me take you back here. Under the filter query, I'm going to say this less than equal to the actual amount. So the actual amount is coming from the trigger when an item is created. Here it is. Then here, the next thing I'm going to use here is a compose action step. Let me take you back to approval config. You can see approver emails here. So, and if it's more than one, I got semicolon here. Yeah. So it's dynamic all this. So even the first level may have more than one, you know. So in my example, I only put one there. So what we need to do here is I'm going to find the emails. See that get items approver emails. As soon as I select, it is going to put an apply to each there. See, by the flow designer, because it's more than one item. get items. Okay, now save this flow. Right, and what I need is I'm going to test again. So click on test manually here, and because the other record I did the rejection, so we can't reuse now again. So I'm going to use manually and click on test. Then going back here to my SharePoint, go to the sales approvals. I'm going to enter the same amount then, product 101. Amount is 15,000 pounds, 15,000. Approver email is Ajit, and save it. Okay, let's see. Okay, here it is. So I'm going to approve this time. So I'm not going to enter the comment and just come to submit. Okay, so it says approved. Close my email. Flow is success, so see that it's approved. It went to the get items and I got one record, which is that. So that's the first level of approval. Then the next person need to approve for the second level. So this I got through that filter query I did against the approval config, against the amount, against the from amount. So here it is. Yeah. So what we need to do here is, because as I mentioned earlier, this could be more than one or one email. We don't know that because it's purely configurable. This entity is. So let's go back to the list is. So let's go back here. The next step I'm going to do here is I'm going to use another compose action step. I'm going to use a split expression here so that I can iterate all the emails. Split, click on the dynamic content, get the output of this compose. That's approver. Yep, that's approver emails, comma, then the separator. So put two single quotes, inside that put a semicolon. Yeah, that's where we are going to split that. So if it's only one, it's not going to do anything there, if it's more than one, then it's going to split that in an array. Okay. The next step what we want is, we still in the apply to each, we go to the control and say apply to each. So we need to iterate this multiple level of approvals we want. So I put apply to each again here. Then the output of compose 2. Then here under the add action, I'm going to add compose, and I'm going to go to another expression called item. So that means if it's more than one, we will get first, then the second, and the third email. So like here, the semicolon one, that's one we split. So in my case, it's only going to be one now for this amount. Later on, I will show you with another figure like 25,000, so that it will go to approval level 2 and 3. Yeah. Okay, let's run this flow and see the results. Okay, so I deleted all the old test records in sales approvals. I'm going to add a new one now. So let me create a new record. Right, let's go back to the flow and have a look. Okay, so I got the approval email now. I'm going to select approve and submit. Okay, let me close this. Flow ran successfully. So let's go back here. So the get items, we got one record. That's that person email we got. Then I use the split. So using the split, see that it's only given one there. If it's more than one, it should be in an array. It's already in an array now because I use the split. Then looping that to get the first item. It's only one there now, so that it got that each item now. So now in the next step, what we could do now here is we can say, so this is the each person's, each approver's email. Yeah, each approver's email. Then inside this loop, what we need to do here is we need to use start and wait for an approval. Again, it's the same thing. First to respond. Then what we could do here is please approve this amount. So what we can do here is we could put here like the total amount if you want, yeah. Or you could just put in the details actually, like total amount is from the trigger, yeah, that's the amount we want. Then in the title one here, yeah, let's make it, just put it like that, yeah, please approve this amount, yeah, that's fine. And then it says assign to. So here the assign to is each approver's email, which is item from that, each item from the apply to each to, yeah, remember that. So here I'm going to use the combos to, or I could use directly the item, you know, this expression here itself. I'm going to use the output of each approver's email here, assign to, here it is. And next thing what we want to do here is we need to use an if condition here. So I'm going to use an if condition here to check the outcome of that again. So check the outcome is equal to approve. And okay, and I'll come back to the S part again later. Immediately what we want to do here is we need to go and say, rejected. So I'm under my clipboard, I still got this there, update item. I'm going to use that update item here. Oh, somehow it's not allowing me to select it. So let me use the update item here now. Yeah, update item. Okay, and select the site name, then sales approval, then the ID. Always search for the ID. Then the ID what we want is from the trigger, remember, yeah, because that's the status we want to change now. Again, it's the same thing, the title, same thing again, from the title is coming from the trigger when an item is created. That's the title. Now we need to change this to manager rejected because it's a rejection now. Rest we don't need to fill anything. So here we could say like rename. This is a multi-level approver rejection. Okay, so there are a couple of things I need to mention here. Like once it's rejected, remember we are still inside this loop now. So we don't want to go for the another approval here. So the best thing to do here for that is I'm going to declare a variable outside the loop. Okay, that means beginning of the process, I'm going to declare a variable here. Add an action, add a variable, initialize variable. I'm going to say is rejected. Sorry, is approved. Yeah, make it false. So by default it will be false anyway. So the variable name is called is approved. Yeah, and here under the rejection part of this if condition we just added the multi-level one. After that I'm going to set variable and set is approved to false, and if it's approved then set that value also here, set variable and call that true then. So either it's going to be true or false. Yeah, then what I need to do here is, so that's that if condition we just added, because I'm not interested in that process now. Yeah, if somebody is rejected, Okay, so since inside the loop this, yeah, so before this I'm going to add another if condition here to stop it, stop sending the approval if it's already if it's already rejected. So what I want to do here is I need to say is approved is equal to true, then only do this. Okay, so if this is approved, then continue doing this. So I'm going to move this over here, move this condition again here then, yeah. Right, so very first time when it comes, there is no approval there. So by default, is approved, we need to set it to true then. So let me go back here. After the initialize variable, before it comes for the approval, I'm going to set here, called set variable here, after the initialize variable, or before that you could do it. So you could do here like set variable and set is approved to true. Assume that's going to be true then, yeah, very first time. Here it is. Okay, just make it after this. Let me think. So this is going to be the update status and that approval outcome get. Yeah, so let's do this here then. That's the ideal place we want to do it. Yeah, it's here under the S condition here. Here it is. So that's how that's output has been approved as. Then it comes here in the apply to each loop. Then when it comes to finding the emails, that's what we did here for get items. Remember that approval config. So here the filter query I did, and also I'm going to use the order by also. I forgot this. So I need to use, if it's more than one, I need to get the level 1, level 2, level 3 like that. So for that, this is quite important. I missed that. So approval level. So I'm going to use here the order by approval level 2 then. Oh, sorry, approval level ASC ascending. Okay, so it's going to give in 1, 2, 3 that order then. So that means I make sure that I'm getting the very first one for the first approval, then the second, then third, like that. Here is level 2, 3, 4. That's the way, yeah. So we added that if condition. And let me go back. So set it to true. Yes, comes to the approval. Then we got the email. We split that. It's inside the loop, each approval, but we are checking if it is true. And if it's true means it comes here. So is approval is equal to true. That means we are starting the approval again here. And if it false, we rejecting that, we set it to false. That means what happens is, if I take you back, then it will be false. So it's not, not going to do anything then immediately then, don't you? Because we updated that, and it's not going to send another approval. Yeah, but remember, it will go to the next apply to each also. Remember, there are 2 apply to each. So that means if it's more than 1 approval, it will go to the level 3 then. So that also we need to stop it if it's rejected. So what we want to do here is, we need to do here one more condition we need to do here. So I'm going to add another if condition in the first apply to each also. So here, yeah, and what we want is, we want is approved is equal to true. Again, we need to do the same thing. Because it's in the loop, we can't just use an exit just to come out and then put everything inside this then. Here it is. Yeah. So, okay, I'll make sure what I did. So first I'm going to get the items for the approval, the order of the approval emails is approval level. Yeah, that's correct. So I'm going to get all the emails for the approvers. Then I'm going to check, is it approved? Yes. Then get me the email, because we already approved the very first one here, and we're setting the variable name here. See that under the S. And then again we're splitting it because it's more than 1. Then doing the same job here, and getting the conditions here and keep on going until when it approved. So what I could do here is I'm setting the variable to is approved to true. Then I don't want to do another update, because if it goes up to 5 levels and there are 2 people in each approvals, then 10 times it's going to set to approved, which in theory I really don't want to go through that way. So what I'm going to do now here is I'm going to minimize all this. So that's a second apply to each, and this is under everything under the S condition here. So now once this is all done, then I could check here again that, yeah, because I'm under the S condition here. So either this will be false or true then. So if it's true, so that means another if condition to say if is approved is equal to true, means I can go to my clipboard, use that update item again, okay, I've come up, took it on time now. Right, now I'm going to make sure that's from the trigger. This is from the trigger again, all good, and finally manager approved, and save it. Okay, I believe we did the flow now, and let's test this. So click on test manually here, going back to this sales approvals. Okay, delete this record. I'm going to recreate a new record. And select my approver email and save it. Okay, now I'm waiting an email to come through for the approval. Okay, so the email come through now. Here it is, and I'm going to approve it. Submit. This is my first level of approval, remember? So that's done. Now, because the amount is 15,000, what it should do here now is, see, it's here still it's saying pending manager approval because it has to go to the second level now. Yeah. So what's going to happen here now is it is going to let me go to my approval config. It has to go to this person now because the rest of the 5,000 should approve by this person. So here is my second level of approval I got. Please approve this amount. Remember, we haven't set anything in the subject there. The total amount still it's 15,000. I'm going to say approve. I'm happy with that. That's done. Let me close it. Going back to the flow. So flow ran successfully. So that means all the approvals been done. Then if I'm going to go to my sales approver, refreshing this, I expect this should be approved now. Here it is, manager approved. Okay, so let's do one more figure then here. Yeah. So let's go back and check that run history here. See, that's the first level approval. Then in the if condition, it said if it's approved. We set the variable to true, the is approved. Then we getting the configured items. The order of the approval level is ascending. And then inside the apply to each, we got all the emails. And again, checking if it is, if it is approved, because if any stage, if it is rejected, we don't want to send another, approval. And then getting the email, and then iterating each emails, each approval email we got. Then the condition 3, we got another one again for is it approved. Then again, okay, send it for the approval. And setting the variable again here to make sure that his upload is true, and setting the variable otherwise to false. This is never going to, this is skipped now because this condition is executed here. That's the reason. And then finally everything is executed within the to apply to each here. So finally, see this, finally outside the loop, let me minimize that, minimize this. So finally outside loop, I got an if condition to say if it's approved, then set the status finally to approved. That's it. So that way, that's where I don't want to update all the time to say approved, approved, approved. There's no point. Okay, let's do one more test here. So let me go back here and add another amount. So I'm going to put pro 200. This time I'm going to put 25,000. And selecting this person is the first manager to approve it. Then the first 10K should approve by the next. That's 25. The first 10K by this person. The next 10K by the second level, and the third level has to approve by the 5,000. So let's save it. If I may take you to my approval config. So the second level should go again to this person. Then the third level of the last 5,000, it should go to these two people. Okay. So at any minute, flow going to run. Let me refresh this. Okay, the flow is running now. So any minute I'm going to receive an email for the approval. Okay, let's go to the run history. The flow is running now. Okay, so that's the first level, manager waiting for the approval. Here it is. So you can remember in the subject we put 10K there. I'm going to approve that, submit. So that's done. Now what should happen now is it should go to this level now, because the first 10K is done. Then the next 10K, that is up to 20K, it has to approve by this person now. That's the second level. So it's waiting for another condition now. It's true. The first one is already approved. That's true now. Then setting the variable to true, and then here get the items. So here we expect 2 records here. See that 1 of 2 here. So I'm going to expect another email now. Here it is, another email I got. So please approve this amount. That's that person now. So I'm going to approve that and submit. Okay, that's done. Now what's going to happen here is I'll expect here it has to go to the last 5,000 should go to these 2 people now. So first Ajit will receive an email, then once he approved it, then Ken should receive an email. So let's go back here and have a look again. So meantime, if I go back here, my flow is still running now. Yeah. So let's wait for that email now. Here it is. That's the next level I got. So again, that's a third level now. Third level of the people is approving the last 5,000 pounds. I'm going to set approve, click on approve and click submit. Okay, now what's happening now is in that level Ken is also there, so Ken has to approve as well. So let's wait for Ken's email to arrive. Right, here it is. So Ken received his approval now, and Ken is going to approve it. Okay, so let me approve this. For some reason I use this in Chrome and I can't click on the approve here. Not sure why. So let me go to the flow portal and find out. So it says view this approval on the flow portal. Click here. Okay, so I used the edge actually again. Okay, so I got Ken's email now here, and I'm going to approve it. So you can see here Ken received the email and submit. Okay, it's approved now. So now if I take you back to my approval config, that was a third level now for that amount. Yeah. So first 10K my approvals by the manager, then the next 10K approvals by this person here, that's it. And then the last 5K has to approve by the third level. Yeah. And here the first and the second person received the emails. So if I may take you back here, my flow ran successfully here, and also going back to the sales approvals, refresh it, so you'll be able to see manager approved. See that? So that's done now. So that's the way, you know, you can configure multiple people to do the approvals. And if I take back to the flow now, so you can see here there are 2 people there. That's the 2 records we got under the get items, 1 of 2 here. And then if I take you to that if condition, we got the first email is Ajit, see that? And if I take you to the next here, then here you can see here there are 2 there here, see that? Yeah, so that means going back to the approval config, so that was the first one you seen, then the second loop you seen the second level of approvals. Yeah, okay, hope this is useful, and thank you for watching.